if you want to study in Europe in 2026, then this video is exactly for you. And I'm gonna tell you exactly the things that I wish somebody told me before I came here. Everyone talks about Germany, Poland, Italy, Austria, Belgium, but nobody talks about Lithuania. I've been living here in Lithuania as an international student for almost 2 years, and I know the ins and outs, almost everything about Lithuania. And I'm telling you, this could be either the best decision that you will ever make or one of the biggest mistakes. And the difference depends on what you are actually getting into. So it's super important to know what you want. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you all about the university, the visa, the weather condition, part-time jobs, university study assignments, is it easy to do your degree here, everything that you would face while living in Lithuania. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question is, why do thousands of students choose Lithuania despite it's not being a famous country? And the answer is affordability. If you compare Lithuania to many countries in Europe or even outside the Europe like UK, US, France, Italy, Belgium, all these other countries, Lithuania is affordable. Comparing 4,000 euros to 12,000 pounds in UK, it is a big difference, right? And this is one of the primary reasons why students choose Lithuania as their destination of their studies. Secondly, Lithuania is a European country and it is a part of Schengen area. Third, most universities offer complete English programs, so it will be super easy to get over with your studies and complete your degrees without getting into the fuss of learning a new language. While learning the Lithuanian language is super important, we will get into it why it is important. But still, the studies itself is in English language. And one of the most important reasons is safety. Lithuania is one of the safest countries I have ever seen in my life. No matter it's a daytime, it's a nighttime, it's evening, you go outside at 2 a.m., there will be no snitching, no nothing regards to your safety. Cities are clean, governments, authority bodies are super efficient and bribe-free, and life is organized in a very beautiful manner. So who should come to Lithuania and who shouldn't come to Lithuania? I think this is the very important section of this video. Lithuania is not for everyone. You should only consider Lithuania if you want an affordable European degree, you are independent, you don't mind living in smaller cities, you are willing to adapt to a different culture, you are comfortable with cold weather. But honestly, don't choose Lithuania if you are expecting to be rich while working part-time jobs, or if you hate cold weather, you want a huge international city like London, or if you want your university life to feel like an American movie, because that's not Lithuania. Well, personally, why I came to Lithuania, when I was coming, I applied to so many countries, including Latvia, Sweden, Poland, and Italy. But one of the primary reasons why I came to Lithuania was Vilnius University, because it ranks in one of the top universities and the reputation is way too good, but also it exceeded my expectations because I've studied in Vilnius University for 2 years and I have seen how much they help with the not only your studies, but the afterwards what's coming, like your internships and everything. So this was the primary reason why I wanted to come to Lithuania. The second reason why I chose Lithuania over any other European country was I wanted to explore a country where there's not a lot of South Asian people, so that I can just experience the raw, real European culture. And that's why Lithuania is not really famous for the international tourism and not a hotspot for immigration. That was the second reason why I chose Lithuania. Well, if we talked about universities, there are several universities in Lithuania, but like SMK, Vytautas Magnus, Vilnius University, there is one live humanitarian European university, something like this. There are so many universities, and which university you should choose totally depends on what program you can find. If you find a program in multiple university that's related to your field, I would say give priority to Vilnius University. All the universities that I talked about were only the university that is in Vilnius. You can also look at the University of KTU. Kaunas Technology University, and there are a couple of Vilnius University branches in another cities, and also some universities in Kaunas and in other places as well. So that, again, as I said, it totally depends on what program you can find and if it is relevant to your field. So the requirement for admission is your previous educational documents, recommendation letter, motivational letter, passport, your police clearance certificate. In most cases, PTE and IELTS is not required, but again, for the complete set of documents, this depends on each university, and that depends where you get the recommendation from. So it is written on every university website. You can consult and write down all the required documents in every format. For example, it should be signed from where and how. You have to write down a complete set of the documents for yourself, depends on each university. Well, the next section is tuition. This is a really important section because this is a defining factor people choose university, right? Lithuanian university's fees is affordable. In some programs, it's 2,500 a semester. But I would say that these are the expensive programs. And some programs like international business, communication, international marketing, global marketing, the fees is even lesser. So I think it would be less than 2,000 a semester, and it is manageable. But again, it depends on how much you work, which we will get into it in a bit. If we talk about the visa process, it's super simple. You don't need to talk to any consultant. You just have to be grown enough to look into all the process online or on their website, or I can make an upcoming video completely dedicated to visa process. But I will tell you in simple ways. The first thing that you have to do is make a complete set of documents required for that program in university. And once you apply to that program, they will give you an initial acceptance letter. Once you receive that letter, a person dedicated for international affairs will send you email and a PDF file or a PowerPoint file in which there will be a complete set of information on what to do next. Every step will be explained in that document. So what you have to focus on is how to get that initial acceptance letter. Once you get that initial acceptance letter, you just have to have a proof of fund, which is usually around 9,000 something euros. And you can convert it to your own country currency. You should have this for at least 6 months in your bank account or any blood related siblings bank account, and you can show it. Uncle is not a blood relation, is only mother, father, sister, brother. And yeah, in some cases people also show their uncle and auntie and all those far relations, but I wouldn't suggest this. Also, health insurance, you should buy health insurance in your own country, any international health insurance, which should be super cheap. It's just for the formality. A valid passport. The long time your passport has, the better, honestly, because you will not get into the fuss once you arrive and once you live a couple of years here. And also you will have to fill out some migrants forms and everything, which again, as I said, it will be explained everything in the first few emails that you will receive from the university. Well, when it comes to accommodation, you can get accommodation super easily. There are so many WhatsApp groups for international people on WhatsApp. You can find many groups on Facebook. There are some websites that you can find like Arodas or Skillview. You can find, you can contact the landlords and you can find an apartment. But the simplest way is to talk to somebody and ask to share an apartment with someone, get a room or get a space inside the room. Other than that, you can also check through your university. There might be accommodation available from university that you can get as well. Another section is cost of living. Well, if you're living in a dormitory, the cost of living is slightly different than if you are living in your own apartment, or it depends again if you are having a room or a shared room or a whole apartment to yourself, But I would say for a 3-person a dormitory room usually costs 90 euros. For 2-person dormitory room, which is very common, usually cost around 130. And then other than that, your SIM card, your phone expenses will be around 10 euros. Fares, bus fares and tickets will range around 10 euros as well. So that's 90, 10, 10, it's 110. And then your groceries should be around 70 if it's shared with someone. And if you're doing it alone, it should not exceed 100. So that's a total of 210. And if you put some miscellaneous, it should not exceed 300. But if you're living in an apartment, that will be 200 plus, around 250 and 300 for your rent. And then with utilities, or let's say 100, so that's 400, and then some grocery and things, so that will be roughly around 500. So 300 if you're living in dorm and 500 if you're living alone. And the most important section is part-time jobs. Well, part-time job depend on luck, a big factor, but generally speaking, finding a part-time job is super hard here in Lithuania. You should have a skill, a proven skill. If you are a pizza maker, you should have a portfolio of pizza making. Or if you are a barista, for most of the jobs, English requirement is super important, and it's a new law has been passed a couple of months ago from the government, in which Lithuanian language is important for the customer facing roles. But even without it, for the roles in which you don't have to face the customers, there are some jobs. I have got my first job after 1,000 applies to jobs, and then I got my second job also after applying for many jobs, but I got certified as a chef, and life worked out for me. So it means even after 1,000 applies, life will work out in some way. And many people do food delivery. I wouldn't suggest food delivery because it's very unpredictable, but it is only for those cases in which you cannot find a job. Food delivery is always an option. Well, if we talk about weather in summer is super good. It's just like in Pakistan, spring weather. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's just moderate. The wind is a little cold, and but it feels good on the skin. The sun is not too harsh on the skin as well. The extreme weather, which cannot be tolerated, is just for 2 or 3 days, which can be neglected. But other than that, the summer, spring is super good. But the autumn, on the other hand, gets colder, and then in winter it gets up to -15, -20, and then snow and everything. So it gets kind of super cold. So you have to keep this thing in mind, that in winter it gets cold, and you have to be prepared mentally and physically. I mean, you should have proper clothes. And one of the way to avoid this crazy cold is to layer up, wear multiple layers of clothing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Lithuania is not like other Western European countries. Lithuanian culture is preserved. And this is the beauty of Lithuania country, you know. If you walk around, you will see people walking in their traditional clothes. Government is putting a lot of effort into preserving the culture, organizing different events related to their customs, traditions. And the best thing is to participate in all those traditions, to learn about the history of Lithuania, the customs, the norms, the people, and everything, and try to, an opposition to it, but someone to celebrate their culture and all of their beauty. So what was my biggest surprise when I came to Lithuania? The first surprise was when I came, the clean air. The air is so clean, and in Lithuania in general is so green, that I was shocked. When you breathe the air for a couple of days, you will feel the difference, how it's different from Pakistan. And if you're watching it from any other country like Bangladesh and India, I think it will apply to these countries as well. Because where I come from, it's kind of the weather, the environment overall, the air, it's super dirty. The UV index is always high and everything. But here, the air quality, everything is so good. The government bodies are so good. The rules, law is practiced, justice is practiced. And as long as you don't do something stupid, you will be you will have the feeling of safety and protection. So that's something that gave me a big surprise when I came. So this is the first generalized video about coming to Lithuania. I will now be making specific videos about the weather, about part-time jobs, about visa process, about university, and about everything. Whatever problems you have, whatever questions you have, you can write to me on Instagram, TikTok, as well, or in the comment, a set of questions, not one question, all of your questions, so that I can make a video on it. And I will be now continuously helping you out into integration and into not only coming, but how to come and bring your best personality and your best self to Lithuania and make this country even better, not worse. So this is Shahbaz, and I will definitely see you with another video and another set of information. Thank you.